Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Ed. Today we're going to be talking about Palantir, PLTR once more. Make sure to drop a like to this video to help this channel grow, subscribe, and leave notifications on. Let's jump right into this one. So PLTR, I did cover previous videos on this one. You'll find the last one in the description below, even though it's outdated. But I'll cover a wholesome video here for folks that haven't really experienced or watched my previous videos before. So Palantir goes down into three different products: Palantir Gotham, Palantir Foundry, and Palantir Apollo. So the Gotham one here integrates, manages, and secures and analyzes all enterprise data. And how? They start with your data from multiple sources, fuse the data into human-centric models, tag, secure, and track all your data, bring the data to life for human-driven analysis, and that's basically a little bit off the platform for Gotham. Now, they are also working with Gotham 21, and that's going to be launched soon. And you get to see, well, honestly, right off the bat, I do like their presentation on the website. But Gotham 21, introducing them, the operating system for government decision making. Gotham is an AI platform that improves and accelerates decision for operators at every echelon and in every domain: land, sea, air, space, and cyber. The future battle space is increasingly complex and adversaries are moving faster than ever. To make decisions, institutions rely on diverse data coming from countless sensors around the world. Making sense of that data at this scale is impossible through human capacity alone. Gotham was built for this context. They do have different parts and presentation, but here Palantir came up with groundbreaking technologies that help us make better decisions in combat zones. You're giving us advantages right now that we need. That was from General James Mattis, the former Secretary of Defense. A bunch of other cool things on here on the website, but I'm going to move on. The next is Palantir Foundry. And Palantir Foundry is a platform that reimagines how people use data by removing the barriers between back-end data management and front-end analysis. Foundry enables users with varying technical abilities and deep subject matter expertise to work meaningfully with data. With Foundry, anyone can source, connect, and transform data into any shape that they desire, then use it to take action. You have some under-the-hood details. I covered this one before, so we're going to move on. And then Palantir Apollo, power for SaaS where SaaS has never gone before. And this one is just as it is, it's an SaaS platform. Basically, Foundry and Gotham is where it runs basically on the Apollo delivery software. So that's their entire SaaS platform. They also have a really nice demo day presentation that kind of you're able to find on Venmo. And if you Google that one through, if you would like, I might actually go ahead as well and mention it in the description below. But you get to see a bit of what their live demo is, how things work in their actual platform if you're interested in investing in this one. It's definitely a cool one. Definitely did enjoy that presentation for myself. Just fair warning, it is a longer presentation. I think it goes all the way around an hour and almost 10 minutes. So anyway here, we get a little bit of an overview on who they are, etc. So the next point, we're going to go towards the press releases. For press releases, this one has quite a few from 2021 to 2020. Palantir and 3M expands relationships to build dynamic supply chain. Palantir and Akin Group collaborates on legal digital services platform. IBM and Palantir partner to help business easily develop powerful and open AI applications, unlocks valuable data across hybrid cloud environments. Palantir and BP deepens partnership and accelerates energy transition. Palantir Technologies and Rio Tinto signs multi-year enterprise partnership. Palantir issued additional details regarding its inaugural demo day on January 26, 2021. Lauren Friedman-Stadt joins Palantir board of directors. The list goes on. There's a lot of PR happening every other day, every other weekend, or I guess every other week. February 23rd, that was the 3M deal that they did have. And then on February 18th, it was that Akin Group collaborates on legal digital services. And you guess what? Probably Monday, you're going to be expecting another one. The IBM one is on February 8th. That was the IBM and Palantir partners to help business easily develop powerful and open AI solutions. And I think that IBM and their partnerships really shows that they actually mean business there. And one of the latest media releases that they do have is UK vaccine rollout success built on NHS determined and military precision. Palantir and the US data analytic company, which has Palantir which had also worked previously on mechanisms for PPE delivery, was contracted in November to provide vaccine supply database. And I did go ahead towards the presentation, and you get to see that their business growth is around 47% in 2020, 17% adjusted operating margin, and 21 deals signed in Q4, each worth around $5 million or more, and 12 of them were worth more than $10 million. They also launched a partnership with IBM integrating IBM Cloud Pack for data, IBM's 2,500 person sales force. Next, they upgrade, they're telling you upgrades to our software becomes upgrades to our customer business. Apollo software here. One of our SAS in the DoD Impact Level 5, IL5, for mission critical information national security systems. And Palantir sits at Level 5. You get to see, for instance, Oracle, SAP, Salesforce, etc. They go on towards Level 4, and even Google goes on to Level 2, including Snowflake. Coming next, Foundry 21 launch. Fully modular, take what you need, build on what you have. Software defines data integration, no code apps for product grade AI in hours, AI infused applications. Architects deploy business use case in few clicks. Next, customer updates. You have around 482 million in revenue from commercial customers in 2020 and 44% of total revenue. Commercial business in 2020, they generated 107% growth from the US commercial base. In Q4 2020, we signed several large deals across automotive, energy, healthcare, insurance, mining, and shipping, and more. They also signed a multi-year contract with Rio Tinto to improve results and safety for production. And then the next one, basically we covered all these different signings. Signed significant expansion with Fortune 50 healthcare company to support their contract management and already generated $50 million in annualized value. And the more we go, you're going to get a bit more of these positive news. Now, with the one thing that I'm interested in as well is the Gotham 21 launch, which is AI-enabled mission command, real-time streaming sensors for AI modules or models, deployed the edge on vehicle, aircraft, and ship around the world, this distributed mesh that is resilient to network failure. And customer updates. You have $610 million in revenue from government customers in 2020, and that's 56% of their total revenue. In 2020, we generated 77% revenue growth from our government customers. In Q4 2020, we signed several large deals underscore our vision to provide the central operating platform for governments and our focus on the near-peer fight in defense. Already covered this one, actually, this piece. There we go. Next one. Expands Vantage program and enables Army to free up to $3.3 billion for reinvestment. And awarded a pair of new contracts with the U.S. Army. Going on next, so you get to see this one here is really active, and I'm gonna go ahead and just continue skipping all the way to Q4 information just because that's what we're interested in. Revenue from our top 20 customers is increasing from 2019 to 2020. That is 663 million respectively, with 495 million. And then customers concentration of our top 20% top 20 customers dropped from 67% as a percentage to 61%. Average revenue per customer as well has increased by 41% from 5.6 million to 7.9 million. Number of customers generated more than 1, more than 5, and more than 10 million all have increased as well. So 1 million is 32%, 5 million is around 54%, and 10 million is around 50%. So they have 8 customers of the Fortune 100, 12 in the Global 100, and 24 in the Global 300. And this kind of gives you a little bit there. I need to go towards the financial updates. I was going to go through the 10K, but if they have it here in graphical information, then why not? In 2020, they generated $1.093 billion in revenue, up 47% from 2019. And you get to see that that is actually represented here on the graph as well for the Q4, 40% increase from 229 million to 322 million in terms of the full year, which we're talking about 47%. That went from 743 million to 1.093 billion. Average revenue per customer also increased. I did go through that a bit. We did go through that. There you go. Full year 2020 government revenue, that was 77% growth. Kind of already gone through that. And then this one here, adjusted operating income or loss. In 2019, there was a massive loss. In 2020, you get to see that that has actually gone towards a positive income. A part of it is as well their IPO, but we're going to go through that in a second in the 10K form. And outlook, long-term orientation, revenue of $4 billion or more in 2025. The outlook is revenue growth excess of 30%, and in Q1 2021 alone, revenue growth of 45%, adjusted operating margin of 23%. So they actually have the information here. I don't even need to go to the 10K. So in Q4 2019 to 2020, you get to see the loss of operations is around $156 million. Now, the adjusted operating income, you get to see stock-based compensation. That really balanced out the loss from operations, and they're net negative in terms of from operations profits. And you get to see that they do have a profit of $104 million. Again, 241 of that came from stock-based compensation. In terms of gross profits, you get to see that they are positive on a gross profit basis, with a good increase as well from the last year, comparing 270 million to 164 million. Loss from operations, Q4 2020, they are in loss from operations. Gets, again, stock-based compensations really fixes a big amount of that. General admission expenses, and excluding stock-based compensation and research and development expenses, that as well there. You get to see it is coming up around 150. Or actually not 150, around 100. And that kind of gives you a perspective. Now, in terms of the 10K that I was referring to multiple times before, it is a really nice document to go through it because you get to see their ideas of the platform, Gotham, etc., Foundry, and you can even get pieces of information that, like for instance, the growth strategy. We're pursuing a number of strategies to continue the growth of the company in both commercial and government business segments in the United States and abroad. One principal strategies are described as below. Increase our reach with existing customers, become default operating systems for data across the U.S. government, expand our reach with the U.S. allies abroad, pursue new methods of customer acquisition and partnerships, become the industry defaults, continue to grow our direct sales force, and the list goes on there. So coming on towards institutional buyers, you get to see that while actually Karp Alexander, the CEO, has taken a 5.5% stake in the entire company here, additional, that was around 10 days ago. Thiel Peter has taken as well 16.60%, and Sampo Holdings taken 7.30%. That is all in February. Institutional buyers seem to be really bullish on this one. I don't see any sales happening since the 23rd. So the 23rd, CW Asset Management liquidated their entire position, but it looks like even JP Morgan, all these different companies are very bullish on it, and they continue adding. So before, around the 16th, we did have a little bit of liquidation, but the majority of them are adding. In terms of insiders, you get to see there has been some sales here on insiders, and that's completely normal. They have the right to sell some of their shares because some of them are awards or conversions, and etc. Who are we to deem that, if they're selling some shares doesn't mean the company's going under. Don't get that twisted. Now, the next thing here I want to just highlight is I noticed the price per book is around 30. That's based on Finviz, and 38 on price over sales. So that might be a little bit interesting because that means that then it's really playing on the far off intrinsic value that the price point hasn't gone there yet, which means it's playing like a big tech, almost like Tesla in that sense, where the price of a book is way overvalued. Now I'm going to go towards technical analysis. If you haven't done so, please make sure to subscribe and leave notifications on because it helps my channel a lot more than you think. You might think, why does it matter for one more subscriber? It does add up quite quickly, and it helps my channel to get discovered. And if you have any recommendations, put them down in the comments below. So on a 1 week perspective, you get to see that 10 SMA, that used to be almost a support, and that broke through in the last 2 weeks, and this week it actually ended below there. That's just something interesting. That's the only indicator that we have on a 1 week perspective. On a 1 day perspective, you get to see the 30 EMA, the red line, is above the 10 SMA, bearish, and the price point is below the 50 SMA and has been for quite a bit. Now the price point here on 80X doesn't show that there is any positive trend following, more of the possibility of a negative trend to continue. Willing percent R shows this one is oversold, and the MACD looks like it might actually be stabilizing. It might accumulate here a little before a positive reversal, and momentum is going negative. So things are looking really rough for this one. Above the around, let's say the 29 bucks, that's where things might get back a little bit bullish and continue on if depending on the price action. On a 2-hour perspective, we get to see that there is a possibility on the MACD for a first time in a while for a positive reversal. The ADX shows a potential there. William %R shows it's highly overbought in that couple of green candles here we have. Momentum is creeping up towards the positive side. 30 EMA is above 10 SMA, and that's the bearish trading action zone. So it does need to escape, I would say, at least first the 25.20, and then above there, the 26.40. Then it becomes in a bit more bullish. Now, on the moving average perspective, it is hanging just on a thread with the Bollinger Bands on the bottom, 22.20. And the Bollinger Bands on the top is around 38.91. That's in purple. But the moving average band over here, this is expected to trade 33.61 at the top, 30.55 in the middle, and 27.50 in the bottom. So there is an expectation that it might actually go ahead and start trading this moving average, but this moving average changes quite a lot at a very short time. So that means it can easily dip down below. Now, in terms of stochastic fast and stochastic slow, we're seeing that they both are sliding, and that looks a little bit dangerous there. In terms of Fibonacci retracements, we see a support at 22.69, a resistance at 26.95, 31.21, 37.27, and 44.99. The other support below the 22.69 is 17.42. And if we were to go ahead, whoops, that's not what we're looking for. But if we were to look ahead into price line actions, let's just clear all drawings. There we go. Yes, and we're going to go towards just a price line action. So the significant support, I would say at this level would probably be 23.12 if we're just take it manually. Below there, you're looking at 21.27. And then right after is 18.07, and then 15.99, 14.48, and 12.01. Significant resistances, we're looking at, let's take a look, 12.75, 27.55, 29.29, 30.97, and all the way to 38.15. Comes to the question to Ed, what do you think about this one? This one is definitely trading on an intrinsic value, which means that the price point is expected to see high, to be a little bit higher in the future, so people are getting in on quote-unquote discount. Remember, this started around $10, and I definitely do think that this, if you're investing, this might be a good hold to keep it for 10 years, whatever. It'll pay off. If you're trading, a significant point of view to look at is at $22. If it does dip below the $22 or even the $23 actually, things might get a little bit ugly in that sense. But in general, this one, they'll continue putting on good news. And I feel a lot of that is already priced in. So make sure first the market settles before you try to trade this one. What do you think about this ticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like. Have a wonderful day.